Studio family, you got a box here. I tell you the hard work gonna pay off. We talked about before the speakers, and we talked about the second stage after you get some quality speakers will probably be your monitor controller, whether it be analog, but if you want to come out with, if you're gonna have digital equipment and not just analog, you want to have a nice D to A converter. So we talked about last episode was me getting the Grace Design M905, but this is the blackface edition. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna open this up. I just got it today. Hard work pays off. I got it today, so I'm gonna open it up in front of you, and we're gonna see what's inside. It might just be a teddy bear or something inside, but hopefully it's in here. So I'm gonna go off screen and come back on screen, and we're gonna see what we got here. Let me grab the knife so we can cut this puppy open and see together what we got here. So while I'm doing this, like I said, this is the monitor controller, which will hook up attached to all of the focal speakers. And this model has three speaker outputs, or two speaker outputs, I believe, and dual sub outputs, which of course is going to be good if you're running stereo subs to, you know, from your system. So I'm like super excited that I got this product, bubble wrap. It's double boxed too, so I guess they making sure that this thing is really put together or shipped nice. So I'm gonna flip her over real quick and see what we got here. Kudos to the packaging department. They did a really good job of making sure that their products come to your home in good condition. Because when you're going through these delivery companies, it could be brutal on delivery of products. But this one came via FedEx. Shout out to FedEx for properly delivering the package. Is this thing upside down, studio family? Yeah, I think it's upside down. So that was my bad. I don't really play with knives too much, so I get real nervous when I'm using a knife. Alright. This thing ain't no joke. Alright, so we're in. This is the second box. And it looks like it's boxes and boxes inside of boxes. Alright, so this is one box here. It's light, so I don't know what's in it, but I'm going to sit it there for now. It's the second box here. So we got multiple unboxings. And then we got the third box here, which I believe is the actual, well, not a box yet. It's a cover. And this thing is beautifully packed. Beautifully packed. Like, look at this. Like, look at this. It's some type of molding that goes around the package, which is the actual unit. This thing is gorgeous. The way they package this thing, like, incredible. So I'm gonna move, well, I might not have to move the camera just yet, but here's the unit. And I'm gonna set this on the side for the moment. Put some of this stuff back so that we can get to the actual product. All right, so let's see what we got. So we got the main unit here, right? This is the main blackface unit, and I'm gonna set this down. And we're gonna open that up, but I'm gonna open these accessories boxes. You're gonna get 2 boxes in the main unit, and you're gonna get a box that says accessories, right? So let's open that up. I'm like super duper happy to get this thing, because this is the stuff that you see or you might see in like really high-end studios. And for me, I look at it as an investment, you know, in my future of recording and so forth. So what we got here is the power cord. It's a pretty thick power cord. The second thing I see in the box is a USB cable. So it looks like, yeah, USB A to B, and then you have USB to micro USB cables, and some rack mount bolts in here as well. And this is the data cable. I think it's like almost like 20 feet maybe or something, I believe, like 20 feet. Let me sound so you actually see me. I think it's like 20 feet maybe, the data link cable that hooks up to the actual desktop monitor and controller unit. And then we have the manual, of course, the manual for the Grace 9, the Grace M905, but I have the black face. This is the silver face manual. So I think the black face is a little slicker. All right, so the last thing that's in this box is the actual controlling unit itself. She is absolutely gorgeous. Gorgeous. That's her right there. Right? I'm gonna come up and do a close-up on it. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna open her up after I get all the stuff out the box. I'll take it out the wrapping paper, but I don't think there's anything else in here. It's pretty much empty. Alright. There's a lot of boxes. They ain't playing. They really making sure that their products get to you safely. And I appreciate that for real. Alright, so it says empty box, no contents. So this is an empty box. I guess it was being used to brace up the actual box. So that's cool. That's one less box to open. So what I want to do here is I'm going to illustrate what this stuff looks like for you. Like I said, this is the unboxing of the blackface Grace Design M905, the blackface model. I want to see how this looks on a camera so I know that I'm actually displaying it to you so that you can actually see this thing. Give me 1 second, family. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna move the camera closer so that you can actually see what I'm doing here. You won't see my face, of course, but you will see the actual unit itself. Well, you might see my face. I know most probably don't want to see it, but you'll see my face, right? Okay. I just want to make sure you see all the detail with the unit. I might have to bring the lighting down so you can actually see it a little better. So like I said, this is the monitor controller. Like you might have different names, like you might have Crane Song Avocet, or you'll have like what's other them? Dangerous, like your Dangerous Music ST monitor controller, right? Or various other ones on the market. But I did my research and I found that the two choices that I wanted to use was the Crane Song at first, right? It was the Crane Song at first, and then I remembered about Grace Design, and I saw that they're like really into low jitter or low noise when it comes to their digital products and their research and development of their products. So it was a toss-up between the two, but with one of the companies, right? And I'll point this at the camera while I'm talking. With one of the other companies, they had a backlog of when their products were available, meaning some people waiting almost a year for the monitor controller, and you're not even sure whether you're even going to get it, when you put your order in, I heard when I contacted my supplier and found out that they don't know. They were basically saying they don't know when it's going to be available, and I was like, well, if I'm spending my money for it, I want my product. I don't want to just be waiting till whenever they decide to do what they're going to do. So, like I said, this is the monitor controller. So this is your desktop unit, and it attaches to the actual rack mounted unit. This is the brains here of the black face model, and this is the controller. This controller controls this. Everything that this does can be accessed by this controller. And like I said, there'll be another video with me actually going through the settings and so forth, because it's not really any detailed videos of this stuff here. So I'm gonna go through it and make sure that you can see everything, so that when you make your decision on what you want to do or what you want to get, don't get me wrong, like a lot of the controllers out here are pretty good, but for me, I wanted to make sure that I got something that was future proof. Like this unit here accepts updates, to it as far as software updates, so that it can have different compatibilities, in the future or whatever. So I wanted to make sure that I did something that was potentially upgradable, in the future. So this is, like I said, this is the front here, and then on the back you have a number of hookups where as you see here, you have the USB upgrade. So this is where the micro USB that's in here attaches to the computer and hooks up back here to be upgraded, where you do your software updates or whatever to the actual system, right? And then you have the I think they used to call it the DB25 or the DB25, which is actually this cord here, right? I think it's like 20 feet, and it has the teeth that goes into this, so that you can connect it directly to the actual rack mountable unit itself to control it. So it sends it to it, right? And it comes with a 1/4-inch jack to listen on headphones, which it is audiophile grade stuff on it. Now I guess I'll get into it later. You can look it up. Look up the once again the Grace Design M905, but this is the blackface model, and it has the adjustable feet, which I never did this before, but let's see how easy it is to actually do. It has like screws on both sides of it that I think you can loosen up and adjust the height. Let me see here. Okay, so you adjust the height of it because it sits like this on your desk, right? And I think you just screw it when you want to tighten it, right? And it has a little piece of plastic over the face of it, so if you're looking at it, it looks funny. That's why. So it sits on your desk like that. The cord comes out the back of it, goes into your rack unit, and there you go, right? It's really nice. It's sharp. It's way sharper in person. Like, it looks really, really sharp, fam. So there's the M905 blackface. So I'm gonna sit this to the side. Hopefully I don't mess up I don't wanna damage this thing, so I'm gonna sit it there. Alright. And let's take the thing off of this. So this thing looks like it's actually sealed in this plastic here. So I want to make sure I keep the bag good in case I gotta transport it in the future. Right? Okay, so I'm gonna kind of stand her up so I can slide her off. She's not actually heavy, which I don't know if I expected her to be really, really heavy, because, you know, it's really just boards with, you know, chips and things like that in it. But she's really, 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 really clean and beautiful. She's really, really clean and beautiful. Really clean. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna see how you guys actually can see this here, so that we don't have any problems. See, I might have to back it up some so that you can actually see the unit itself. Give me a second, fam. Oh man, that's spot on. That's spot on, fam. That's good money. That's good money. Alright. I don't have a ton of room to play with, but I want to make sure you guys see what I see. So, so from the front of the unit, we have the name, monitor controller, the beautiful Grace Design logo, right? And then we have the power button. Really nice power button on the side. Real simple. So like I said, like on the actual controller itself, you have a reference headphone jack, and you also have one on the actual unit itself, the rack mountable unit, and also from the your controller. So when you sit in front of your desk, right, use the controller, you use your headphones, you can pull it here instead of, putting across the room to another headphone, or you can use them simultaneously, if you're working with your talent or whatever. So that's the back of it. So that's the back of the the actual controller. So let's look at the back of the actual unit itself. She's really, really sharp. Really, really sharp. Right? So here's the rear of the unit, right? And on the rear of the unit, you have quite a few inputs and outputs on the back of it. So we're gonna start from what's closest to me and go the opposite direction. I'm not well versed on it, but I can pretty much eyeball and see what's good. And I just wanted to say one thing about this unit is it's super clean. I mean, you see the gold connections. They look so clean and polished. Like this thing just looks so. It says business. It says we ready for business, and it says this is a quality product. Like you're gonna pay some money for this thing, if you look it up. But this thing really is clean, really clean. So from this side going away, of course you got the power input, right? And then you have what it says here is your word clock, and it gives you the option of a 75 ohm. I don't know if that says a 1 million ohm. I don't know, but that's what it says, and there's two of them here. And of course you have your AES 1 and 2, your AES 1 and 2 ends. This is your end section right here. There's all your end section right here. You have your SPDIF. Yep, you have your SPDIF. You have your TASA-Link, your ADAT, and your USB 2, which I'm going to go into the Mac Pro desktop USB 2. And one of the reasons why I'm going to use the USB 2 because it has the option of using a DSD or what is that, a digital server. Basically, you can play your high resolution audio into this unit. It has a DSD software in this unit itself, from what I believe. And also with the USB 2, a lot of people, have an issue with concerns about there being like lag or computer noise from the USB cord, which I bought a more expensive USB cord, but I'm gonna see how theirs sound first, and then I'm gonna use the upgraded USB cord and see if I hear a difference. So basically what this unit does in order to combat the issue with USB to computers is this unit basically takes over the computer's, how do they put it? It takes over the computer's D to A converter. It basically tells the computer to not use its own D to A converter, and this, not D to A, digital to digital converter, because this is going to be digital. I'm going out digitally from the Mac Pro desktop. So this basically, for lack of a better word, goes into the computer via USB, takes over all the function of D to D transfer, or dealing with what do you call it, where you have your digital signal from wherever you're getting it from, and it does all of the legwork, and then brings it into itself, and then monitors the way the computer is sending it to them. If it senses that something is out of sync, it will go to the computer and request that missing piece, or it will verify. That's basically what it's doing, is it verifies with the computer that what it's giving it is what it's supposed to give it. If it detects that it didn't give it something properly, it will then request that packet of information so that you will get the best quality that you can from USB. Okay, so that's what I've read up on in thus far. So moving right along, you have your digital out, which is your AES, your SPDIF out. So you have the in and your out, right? And going along further over, we have the sub output. Also, it says sub and DAT out. So you can use this for sub, and there's a button on here on the front of the unit, I believe, if I can find it here, or it's in the menu screen, because you have buttons up top that switches it and tells it what you want to do. There's 4 buttons. There are 4 buttons up top and 4 buttons on the bottom. So basically what it is that you can use a DAT hooked up to this unit, or you can switch it to make it sub, right? You can have a right and left sub, or you can go out straight stereo out to one sub and then split that sub to your main monitors, or you can just do right and left sub out. Boom, it'll go right to one sub. And of course, I'm gonna get back to it. You have your Q out and you have your talkback out. So basically, you can hook a microphone up to here, XLR, to a microphone, and basically talk back to whoever from another room or whatever case may be. You can talk back from there. And there's also a talkback function on the actual controller unit as well, which is right here, where you press the button to talk to the subject and whatever. Okay, all right. So then you have your grounding over here. This is a lot of stuff over here. Talkback switch. So in the other video, I talked about a latch and switch where you get a. I don't know if I wanna. Wait a minute, fam. What I talked about in the other video was the hose switch. So from what I understand, that talkback switch is like a pedal. Like hit the pedal, you talk, hit it again, deactivate it. So it's the same thing as we talked about in other videos. You can look in my video thing about using this as an activating switch for your sub. But it's the same principle, where you can latch, make it, and talk, hit it with your foot instead of, it always being active. That talkback mic always being active, right? So one on the line, you have your speaker 1, which is right and left, your speaker 2, which is right and left, and your speaker 3, which is right and left. So it is 3. Literally, you can use 3 sets of speakers that you can activate. I believe you can activate, is it 2 of them at the same time? Like you can play 2 sets of speakers at the same time, I believe. I don't know if you can activate all of them. I'm not sure, but I don't know if you can activate all of them. But I think you can activate 2 of them at the same, 2 pairs at the same time, along with your sub, right? So we have 3 sets of speakers, right? You have your Q in, and you have your balanced in, in. So you can come in digitally, or you can come in analog wise into this unit here, and the unit will actually do the analog to digital conversion, which is pristine, right? So going further down the line, you have your unbalanced in, which is your RCA with the gold-plated connections. Your RCA analog can come in, and the last thing over there was a talkback mic in. So there's talkback mic in and the talkback mic out. You know what I mean? So I don't know if this could be patched somewhere else or whatever case it be for your talkback out. But like I said, it's a plethora of stuff to this unit, which to me, is more than what I need. 3 stereo speakers, 2 subwoofer outputs. This thing is a dream, and from all the reviews I've read, the sound quality is supposed to be really, really good. So think about it. You got your nice main monitors and your sub that's up there in quality, and then you come in and you feeding it with a high quality converter, digital analog converter from your computer, from your DAW into this thing, into your speakers. I mean, what could you ask for better than that? So like I said before in other videos, the one thing you want to spend the most money that you could possibly afford is on your speakers, because your speakers is going to try. You can have $1 million hardware system, right, and then send all that beautiful conversion and analog sound and your compressors and your reverbs, all that beautiful sound, and then you send it out to some $300 speakers and expecting those speakers to translate that information to your ears precisely and with the detail that you are actually asking for. So basically, when you don't have a good output chain, you're basically spending most of your time compensating for the lack of your speakers. So you're sending more reverb, you're putting more compression on a vocal or whatever the case may be, or you're putting extra width on the vocalist because you want to sound wider, to your ears. So you're doing all of this stuff, and to you, okay, you figure, all right, this is where it need to be. So you plan it through those speakers, and you're hearing that through those speakers the way that you're saying you want to hear it. But then you go and you print that to a disc, or you print it to a CD, and you go to your car, you go to your friend's house, and you play it, and it sounds like crap. That's because you're not doing things in a way that over time you learn, or you follow other people and you say, okay, well, this makes sense or that don't make sense or whatever. But if what your end result, your end product is not a highly resolved or revealing speaker, and then behind that highly resolved revealing speaker, an accurate speaker, you don't have the proper digital to analog or analog to digital converting unit, whether it be your speaker monitoring unit, or you have something that's integrated, you know what I mean, or some type of integrated unit where you have a digital to analog converter, an analog to digital converter. You have something that is of such of a level of quality where or you have read enough, or you looked into it enough, and you researched enough where that at least I'm getting a level where I know that I can trust what I'm hearing. I can trust that what this thing is presenting to me is actually usable. That's the word, usable. Like, you don't have to spend this type of money to have a result that's usable, right? But you don't want to not spend money because us as gearheads, we want that fancy compressor. Like before I bought this, I wanted so bad to get a couple of Universal Audio compressor. The name escapes me. The LA2 way. That thing is what, $3,500 each, and if you want stereo, you need two. You get what I'm saying? I wanted that. You know what I mean? I wanted a couple other compressors or EQs or whatever, but I knew if I was going to do this properly, I needed to make sure that what's coming out of my system, out of my DAW, into my speakers needed to be of the best quality that I could afford, and not even afford, what I could scrounge and work and get to be able to know that what I'm hearing is what is being produced in my DAW. That's what I'm saying, right? So once again, your speakers first, as much as you can afford. Then get your converters. Your converter, meaning what's coming out your DAW that's being converted into audio to feed your speakers, or a lot of speakers now have D-Day converters in them. Like I know the Adams, the new Adams have DSP, and they have digital to digital, so they go right out, you know, of a digital environment into the speaker digital, and it has its own conversion, right? But however you do it, just make sure you have a good monitor controller that will actually give a truer representation of your music, right? So once again, this is the Grace Design M905 blackface version, and I'm gonna turn it around so that you can see the front again, in case you want to look it up or whatever the case may be. So once again, this is the Grace Design M905, right? And this is the unboxing. And I'm gonna hook this thing up and, you know, see how much of a difference in detail and soundstage I get with this versus, you know, using that, you know, outdated Design Digio 3, which I'm sure, you know, is going to be night and day. But we'll see. And like I said, I'll do another video on it along with other videos. Like I said, if you want to see other stuff that I'm gonna, you know, acquire, you know, over time, which I keep telling people I'm gonna stop this year. I've done enough this year about, you know, buying stuff, but, you know, it's an investment, you know, in my future. So the next thing maybe down the line is I to get another computer. The old Mac Pro ain't keeping up no more, so I'm gonna have to get another Mac computer. But for right now, this is the Grace Design M905 blackface, and I'll catch you next time. So like, subscribe if you like what you see, you like what I'm doing. The video's too long, let me know. Or you want more detail out of what the product is or whatever, let me know, and, you know, leave it in the comment section. But it's your boy B, man. To the next video, Studio Family. Peace.